If you're looking at your photos and thinking those are not as sharp as they should be, this video is for you. My name is Ivana Podlasińska and I am an educator and a child and family photographer. And I've been doing that for 10 years, so I have a lot of experience when it comes to the sharpness of my photos. And also I have a lot of experience from my students' work on my workshops. I will give you a few reasons why your photos may not look as sharp, and at the very end I will show you how to sharpen your photos in Lightroom, and also a little trick that I do when uploading on Instagram to make them look even sharper. So let's start what you might be doing wrong when taking photos. The question is your gear capable of taking sharp photos? Not every lens will be as sharp as the other. Now, there is a reason why we sometimes pay more for certain lenses than the others. If you have a very affordable lens, that might be one of the reasons why your photos may not look as sharp. I have a very bad experience with some Canon 51.8 lenses, which didn't look as sharp as I would expect them to look, and there are some kit lenses that don't really look very good. The second thing are settings. So I'm going to start with shutter speed. If the shutter speed is too long, then while taking the photos, you may make a little movement that may create something called camera shake. Especially when you're shooting handheld, or in some situations when even if you're on a tripod, then the person in your photo might move and that little movement is registered by your camera, and it's due to a too long shutter speed. Now we are just talking about natural light or continuous light photos, so it doesn't really apply to studio. What does it mean that your shutter speed is too long? What is a too long shutter speed? The easiest way you can check that is take a look at your lens, read how many millimeters, so the focal length of your lens, and make sure that your shutter speed is always shorter than that. So for example, if your lens is 200 millimeter, your shutter speed should not be longer than 1/200 of a second. If it's 100 of a second, that's too long. If it's 1,000 of a second, that's correct. So it always has to be shorter. Some people would say even double. So in case of a 200 millimeter, that will be 400 millimeter. But it really depends on certain factors, like how well can you hold the camera without making it shake, image stabilization in your camera, which is going to help you with a longer shutter speeds, and so on, so many factors. But just to simplify that, make sure that it's never longer than your focal length. Another thing that also can cause your photos to look unsharp is too high ISO. If your ISO goes to 3,000, 4,000, and so on, that's quite a high ISO, and that will create a lot of noise in your photo, and those will not be looking sharp. Another thing which is funny, is the aperture. So the aperture can start from the lowest, and that really depends on your lens. It can be 1.4, it can be 2.8, the lowest, and you can go all the way up to 22. So either end of those, that spectrum will not be the sharpest that you can get. Especially with prime lenses, shooting at 1.4 will not give you a super sharp. Most of the times, I'm not saying every lens, but a lot of the times I would suggest people do not shoot on, especially with prime lenses, will not shoot at the maximum opening, because that sometimes tends to look unsharp. The closer you get to your model with your camera, the more shallow the depth of field becomes, and on some point one of the eyes is going to be in focus, the other is not going to be in focus, and just having too many things out of focus make the whole photo look unsharp. So there is a sweet spot of having just enough background blur, and if you want me to record a video about that, leave a comment down below and I will try to record it for you. As long as the settings are right, so the shutter speed is not too long, the depth of field is not too shallow or too deep, and the ISO is not too high, it should be, no matter if you shoot with your viewfinder or your screen, it's going to be as sharp. Another thing is making sure that you're actually focusing where you want to focus. When it comes to portrait, you probably want to have the eyes or the face in focus. A lot of times what I see, people don't really pay attention where the camera is sharpening. So sometimes there are other things, and the camera is visibly showing that it's actually focusing on some other object. So make sure that your camera actually focuses on the face. The first thing that I always check when somebody says that my photos are not sharp, I'm looking for any other things that is sharper than the face. And if there's something sharper, I would say like, well, the problem is that you missed the focus. The camera focused on something else and you didn't notice, and you didn't force your camera to focus where it should be. Another thing that I see a lot of the times, people are zooming in too much. So they upload the photos on their computer and zoom in 500%, 400%, and looking at the pixels and thinking, oh, this is not sharp, but you're zooming in way too much. Nobody's ever going to be able to see a photo zoomed in that much. So make sure that you only zoom in to 100%, not more, and you're looking at the size that you will be showing then to people. Right now I will show you what to do in Lightroom to make your photos look sharper. Okay, so I'm in Lightroom right now. I'm going to show you my favorite way to do that, and I'm going to basically move the texture slider up. So if I move the texture slider up, everything tends to look way sharper. The problem is that she doesn't look better. Okay, she looks worse. I mean, her face, her skin, that does not serve her skin. Plus, I don't really need that on the background because I want the background to stay soft. So I'm just going to do something like that, but using a mask. So you should go here to find mask. And the way you apply a mask is really up to you. I'm going to use a brush because that gives me the most flexibility when it comes to applying that whatever I want. And I'm going to adjust the size and feather. That should be also kind of like a little lower. So 35 should be fine because I want this to be quite precise. And I usually suggest that the flow is around 50. So whenever I apply a brush, it gives me that red color. It only shows you where it was applied, so don't worry about the color yet. When you apply that, I'm going to apply that on her clothes, but not on her face because I didn't like the effect on her face. I might also apply that on the car because that's also in focus. And I'm going to slide down over here where it says effects, and I'm going to move the texture up. So see how her clothes here, how her hair gets really, really looking sharp. See, this is what you get. This is the effect. That's one way. The other way I need to show you, because a lot of people use that, and I used to use that a lot before, is the detail here. The detail has 4 sliders when it comes to sharpening. It has the amount, radius, detail, and masking. Let's move all the sliders all the way up, and you will see that kind of a noise that makes everything look sharper, but at the same time creates a lot of that weird looking noise, which basically I would call over sharpening. We have that last slider, which I didn't push yet. This is masking. So right now I'm kind of zoomed in so you can see the effect above after all that crazy sharpening, just because I want to show you how masking works. So if I push the masking up, can you see how right now it's being kind of erased from her face? And if I push it all the way up, it's going to stay around her lips or her nose or her hair, but it was kind of erased from the background and erased from her face. So that's good because this is what we want. We want that to be erased from the face. So I always suggest that you only look at 100% when you're trying to judge the sharpness or the if it's sharp or if it's over sharpened. So look at the 100%, and if you still can see a little bit of noise around some details, that means it's over sharpened. So I would definitely go down with those sliders, just so I don't see that over sharpening around details. This is with sharpening, and this is without, and this is with, and this is without. Honestly, I barely see the difference. Whilst when if I would show you, let me just show you that with the mask. This is without the mask and this is with the mask. So here I can immediately see the difference. Whilst with the detail, that's barely visible. So I tend to skip that because I don't really see the difference, but I always do the mask. And at the very end, I promise that I will show you one other way to make your photos look sharper on Instagram. This is very simple. Whenever I upload on Instagram, I just click that little edit icon and then I scroll down and look for sharpening. And when I find that sharpening, I'm just gonna move that slider up a notch to make the photos look sharper. And this is only for Instagram. I would not print that or anything like that. This is just for Instagram, and it makes it look way sharper. Just because you're looking at the very, very small version of the image, nobody's going to be able to actually zoom in to 100%, so you don't have to worry about that over sharpening there. But if you're looking at a very, very small image, then a little extra sharpness wouldn't hurt. So I hope that you like that, and I hope that's useful. And if you have any questions or any suggestions, what I could record for you, what you want to know from me, make sure that you leave a comment down below. I'll be very happy to hear from you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.